So, tips and tricks that I've learned through nursing that I did not learn in nursing school. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these things. But before I get good and started, I told somebody at work that I'd give them a shout out. This is an individual that I work with. She is not a nurse. However, she is very awesome, very cool. She has a YouTube channel. She's just getting started. Check her out at World of Angel 88. One word with no spaces between the numbers. I'll put a link down below. World of Angel 88. She's awesome. Check her out. She's new to YouTube. Anyways, back to my point. Tips and tricks that I've learned through nursing on the job that I never learned in school. Number one, I feel like I got to get this out of the way. And I feel like they did tell us this in school quite a bit. But I'm going to go ahead and reiterate it. If you did not document it, it did not happen. And I mean this quite literally. I mean, just for instance, a simple TB test, tuberculosis test, PPD is what we call it. A simple TB test. If you don't document the hour, the day, who did it, that individual's probably going to have to get another TB test, and they're not going to be very happy. And that is just a super simple test. It takes like 3 seconds to just stick them right under the skin in the arm. And if you don't document, it did not happen. Even though you can see that there is or is not a bubble, and that individual can tell you, hey, Nurse Chris gave me this 2 days ago at 12 noon. If Nurse Chris didn't write that mess down, that mess did not happen. And that individual is going to have to come back for another TB test, and they're going to be angry. Oh, they're going to be mad. So, and that's just something super simple, as easy as a TB test. If you did not document it, it did not happen. I know that they said that in nursing school, but I cannot iterate that enough. Please document everything you do. Nurse blinked 4 times during this note. You know, you ain't got to be that specific, but document everything. Number 2, now we're getting into the cool stuff. Thick, the packet of like Nectar Thick or Honey Thick or whatever it is, you know, the little solution that you pour into drinks that make it thick, does not mix with carbonated drinks. I found this out the hard way at the nurse's station at the hospital one night. And guess who had to clean up a bunch of Sprite that was then all of a sudden a sticky, gooey volcano mess? That's right, this guy right here had to clean up a Sprite that I decided to put some Nectar Thick in one time. And it created a volcano, and it became a very gooey, sticky, gross mess. So, read the box on the thickening solutions, because you're gonna mess up if you don't. I know. Trust me on that one. Something that's also simple. Don't let your pride get in the way. If you have a question, come to someone, anyone. Go to anyone. Even if it is a CNA that's been there longer than you, typically they can at least point you in the right direction. If you question an order that you don't understand, if you have a patient that you can't find a vein on, if you have a med that you don't know, you've never given, you've never seen before, ask someone. Always ask someone. If you can't find a med, ask someone. Don't let your pride get in the way. I'll give you a little bit of an example. I had a nurse. I was working under this nurse. They were the charge nurse. She was very, I don't want to say competent. She was very, she overcompensated for, everything, really, to be honest with you. Overconfident, overcompensating, over the top. Thought, she talked a big game, said she was the greatest nurse since the history of the world. And come to find out, she drew up a medication that she did not fully understand the way it was to be drawn up. She drew up too much of this medication. She didn't quite do her math right. She didn't ask anyone. She just all of a sudden drew it up, And then guess what happened? She had herself a big old med error. That's right. Dun, dun, dun. This overconfident, overcompetent nurse who wasn't going to ask anyone how to do something drew up the wrong, not the wrong med, drew up the right med, just the wrong dosage of it. It was an issue. It was a big issue. If you question how much you just drew up of something, if you question how much of a pill you're about to give somebody, if you question how much flush to flush through an IV, ask someone. Don't let your pride get in the way. Ask somebody. Just by asking somebody doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It means that you're smart and you want to know more of what you're doing. Ask someone. Don't just go ahead and do it. Always ask someone. Now, that's just day one stuff. Also, let's get to another silly one before we go. If at any point in time you have to lift a patient in the bed and you roll them over and you don't see a little bit of the sheet on the other side, you might as well just go ahead and start over with rolling them back and forth, because you've got to have that sheet underneath them or you're out of luck and you've already messed up. So always check your sheets or your draw sheet, whatever you want to call it. Hope it helps. Thank you much.